everybody, and welcome to another YDA chat. My name is Linda Codega. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm one of the features editors for Shots. Joining me today is Rosie Westhoff and Fiona Hardingham, who won a YDA Gold Screen for their series Pitch, a scripted series for a new category for YDA called Dreampitch. Rosie and Fiona, can you guys take a few minutes to introduce yourselves? Where are you guys in your career? How did you meet? And what was the process like for developing, like coming up with the idea, like, hey, let's join forces and like enter Dreampitch together?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Rosie, do you want to start?
Yeah, where should I start?
Yourself.
Myself.
Just the whole journey.
Yeah, just the journey. So I think why the YDA Awards is for the directors who have only made 5 films. I think that's what it is. So they're like early on in their career as directors. So Fiona and I made a short film together in 2019, and that was my 4th short film. So I've got one more short to be able to apply the YDAs with. But I have a career as a producer and an AD before directing. So when I left university, I was actually started out on reception in a television commercials production company in Australia, and then just moved up the ranks to runner and coordinator and production manager, and then was producing and production managing in Australia and the UK. And then I moved into assistant directing, and now I'm directing. And so that's been my process to becoming a director.
Okay. Yeah. I started out, thanks Rosie, and I want to actually inject like loads more information about you than what you just said, because you direct beautifully and you've done so much and you're so capable of so many roles, but I started out, I studied acting and at university and as a kid, so I was an actor and a stand-up comic after uni, which sort of led to developing and devising shows at the Edinburgh Festival. And then I moved to LA to try LA for a bit, with Dreams of Hollywood and all, and started voiceover acting and doing audiobook narration, which is something I still do. But the love of acting always continued, and I still acted as well, but had a craving to create and produce things myself always. So I met Rosie by chance at a film festival, Women in Film Festival, and I watched her short Crush, which is available online for you all to see.
Excellent.
Just letting you know. And I said, there was a Q&A afterwards, and I was like, oh, she's really cool. I'm going to go and approach her and see if she'll have a coffee with me. And to say that like I'm looking for a director to collaborate with. And we immediately hit it off. We just have very, very similar styles of interest for cinema and directors and project pieces that we're drawn to, films we're drawn to, and have a good old chat. And we just sort of developed that relationship. And as Rosie said, in 2019, we just put our heads down and said, let's make a short together. And we applied for BFI funding. And I was in England, and we managed to together piece that together. And the lead actress from that is autistic, and that led us on a complete journey to discovering through the casting process really, and also the project Our Sister that I'm talking about was written by two writers, but Josie, her brother is autistic, so the story was inspired by something she lived through. Anyway, going back to the autistic actress, that journey and the casting process, we really discovered how slow it is for a female in particular to be diagnosed with autism. And so I'm just thinking about pronouns now, and I feel like I hope I haven't offended anybody. But in particular, it seems in the UK that it's very difficult for females to be diagnosed. It's somewhere generally around the 18-21 mark, it tends to sort of happen. And that it revealed was because girls are very good at hiding and suppressing their emotions, whereas I'm being very stereotypical here, so excuse me. It's not speaking so more elegantly, but yeah, they can sort of suppress, and it sort of manifests in different ways than it does potentially with a boy. So this led to where we are now. I do have a point. Led to us working with an amazing script consultant, well, really an artist, called Charlotte Amelia Poe, who won the Spectrum Arts Award. And Charlotte, do you want to talk about Charlotte at all, Rosie?
Yeah, so Charlotte was not diagnosed with autism until she was, I think, 21.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and check for sure, but she was 21. And so we met Charlotte. I met her through good old Google, because we were looking for a script consultant. Nice. and I was looking for somebody with a sense, like that sort of I was looking for Charlotte, I think, and I just didn't know it. And she had won this award, and she did this really beautiful video where she wrote a speech and she spoke it to camera, and we can link it here as well. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then she consulted on the short film, and either during the edit process, I think she released a book, a memoir of her life, and it's called How to Be Autistic, and I think it's like an Amazon bestseller for parents and disabled people. That's a category on Amazon. And so it's a book of her life and her trials and tribulations as an autistic person. She's also non-binary and bisexual, and so it's got a whole wealth of stuff going on, but really it's just beautiful and funny and sad, and her family's amazing, and their family is amazing, and they are just amazing. And so I read this book, and then I think I sent it to you, Fiona. Did I post it to you?
You went to the opening and you were like, you need to just read this, because she had
I bought like 5 copies.
Oh, nice.
It's really good.
It's worth my best friends to read it. Yeah. And then I posted it to Fee, and you read it quickly, and I was like, we gotta try to auction this and see if we can get this made. And so yes, that's been the process so far. We applied to the Torino Film Lab, which some people may or may not know, but it's quite a prestigious film and television lab, and so we got on that lab for early development of the series, and we did that back in February, pre-COVID. And then so we're just in the process of getting a few things signed off, and then we're gonna put our heads down November, December and write the pilot. I think, or hope to.
We are.
Very cool.
We are. We have to.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because we've received some development funding, so we have some targets to hit, and that's all the paperwork that's going on.
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah.
Cool. So why did you guys decide to enter YDA, and why did you think that Dreampitch was the right venue for, like, to get this series out there?
I followed YDA for a while now, and I love the films that they put out. I love the way that they talk about films. And I saw this, and it was quite a new thing, and I said to Fee, can I apply to this? And she's like, if you can apply, yes, of course you can apply. And I think it was a reasonably easy application, because you just had to give 150 words, but then a 200-word detail on it. And I actually think it's in a way it's a easy sell, and it's also a very hard sell. But I think when selling it in 150 words, people are like, oh, this story needs to be told, and YDA gave the opportunity for us to, as early on career people, to get some other production companies to notice it, I think that's kind of the most important thing to us at the moment, because we're a new indie, we're a small indie. It's just the two of us and Adapted Pictures, and so if it was to get produced, we would need co-producers for sure. And I think that's what is led us to want to apply to YDA, in the hopes that co-producers and financiers, collaboration. Yeah.
Great. Speaking about the process and the pitch, can you give us that 150 word pitch, or like a version of it?
Well, lucky I've got it up in front of me. I can,
yes.
Okay, so actually, is it 100? I can't remember if it's 150 or 200, but so the pitch is, there's two sections of it. Do you want me to read out the two different sections?
Whichever one you think is strongest, or if you think they both need to be shared, like
I think they makes sense to be shared, and maybe they'll have to edit this little section. So I'll do both sections. Okay, so like all 15-year-olds, all Charlotte wants to do is fit in. Unfortunately for her, that's impossible. Charlotte's autistic. Worse still, she doesn't know it. Nobody does. Expelled from school following an incident that's only referred to as the meltdown, Charlotte's family have relocated to the only school that will accept her midway through the year. So now she has the guilt of uprooting her whole family to add to her already spicy cocktail of anxiety, insecurity, and insomnia. This is a show about trying to fit in and discovering that you shouldn't have to. So that's the 100-word pitch. And then there was like, you can add some, give me some money.
I'll take it. I'll send you my Venmo.
And then this was the other little section of it. So so the book's called How to Be Autistic, but because which is a conundrum, that title itself, really, because there is no way to be, and that's why Charlotte called it that. And the series working title at the moment is How to Be. So How to Be is a coming-of-age teen series based on the memoir by Charlotte Amelia Poe, How to Be Autistic. The book charts Charlotte's trials and tribulations, unapologetically revealing what life is truly like for someone in their position. In their urgent, funny, shocking, and impassioned memoir, Charlotte Amelia Poe presents the rarely shown point of view of someone living with autism. As we follow her journey through school and college, we become as awestruck by her extraordinary passion for life and by the enormous privatizations that she must undergo to live it. From food to fandom to body modification and comic conventions, Charlotte's experiences through the torment of school days and young adulthood leave us with a riot of conflicting emotions: horror, empathy, despair, laugh out loud amusement, and most of all, respect. The series, like the book, will show us both the desperate and the bleak angle to autism, as well as the beautiful side. It will deal with themes of authority, bullying, psychology, the NHS, isolation, depression, anxiety, PTSD, power, fandom, identity, art, and narrative control by neurotypicals. That's it. So that's what we entered with, and so that's what they liked.
Excellent. Well, I like it too. It sounds rad.
Yeah. And she's and Charlotte's really rad.
Like, super rad. Yeah. Nice. Buy her book, everyone.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm wondering, obviously you had some source material here, but how did you go about developing the pitch where you knew that you would focus when they're 15 and when they have to like do the move? Like, what was the process of actually writing that out and like editing it and making sure that like Charlotte was good with what was happening? Because you are pitching their life in a way. Totally. So can you speak a little bit about that?
It's a really great question, because when we were in at the Torino lab, the book is very POV, and it was her in the book, it's her, and now it is they. So it's very focused on their POV, and which means that it's sort of like a monologue, a very long monologue. So we had to work out other characters and build this world. So that has been something that we are still developing with the writer now involved. Yeah, do you want to build on that, Rosie?
Yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing, is because it's so POV and it is like a monologue, and it's also snippets of lives. So there's not much narrative and story structure necessarily in this book. However, there is so many anecdotes and so many good characters, like her mum and her dad and brother and sister and uncle,
and
so
scenes.
and so it's a really good family drama as well, because they're just such interesting characters and really relatable as well. And nice. So I think Charlotte knows that as well. So after we went to the Torino lab, we sent her the deck that we had developed. So it's like a series Bible that we had developed, and had a call with her, and you know, she was up for it. She was up for embellishing the stories, making them longer. So maybe she was actually only friends with this person for 1 week, but maybe we have her friends with them for the whole time. Or, you know, what's not in the book is that her uncle moves in with them. And I found that really interesting when she told me. So I was like, can we put that in? So all that sort of stuff is really open with her, which is brilliant. And then just the process of from now and writing the pilot, Charlotte was very clear that that they didn't want to be attached as the screenwriter to the pilot. They want to consult on it, right? And that's got to do with she wants to detach herself from that time in her life, and that's completely up to her. But they're very keen on getting involved in consulting on it, and that's really important. And so for us, and also the financier who's giving us money, it's important that the screenwriter that comes on is autistic, so that they can bring their honest and true lived experience. And so we feel like we're really lucky to have found a writer. We can say who the writer is, right, Fee? Yeah, writer named Alex Clark, who it is really great, and she's a new writer herself, and she has her own story of late diagnosis through autism, and her daughter is also autistic, and her writing is really beautiful, and she really brings the pages to life, and like when you read it, you can really see what you're going to make. And so we're really excited for the next few months to go on this journey with her. So Fee and I will act as, you know, creators and like showrunners would, so storyliners and overseeing tone and genre and helping out with characters and storylines. But it will very much be Alex driving the writing, and, you know, bring that honesty. You know, I can't write a scene that an autistic person had with her therapist, but she can, and that's what's really important to us and to also to the financiers. Yeah,
that's great. I definitely, as all of us are from, we're obviously all from marginalized backgrounds, being either women or non-binary, so it's definitely like very clear. Like, you can definitely watch a movie and just be like, what dude wrote this? What man thinks girls talk to each other like this?
Yes, exactly.
So I really respect the commitment to doing an own voices piece, like inspired by, consulted with, acting. Like, the more people you have of that experience, the better it's going to be. So that makes me feel like really excited to see where this goes.
Us too.
Yeah.
So the last question is, what does it mean to win this Gold Screen YDA, and we sort of already know what to expect from you in the future, but what did winning this Gold Screen do for you? Like, what happened?
Well, I think it's just a lovely boost of confidence is one of the major things for us, you know, to know that this is resonating with people is really important to us, because we want the show to hit everybody, you know, to resonate with people, with a large audience, and be relatable. The book is very relatable, and this idea of fitting in, you know, that's just something we all experience at times. So that was what I think I felt
Yeah.
was most about this. So thank you.
I think I'm the same with the YDA award. I think like a lot of other things that you apply to, which by the way are a lot, and you get a lot of no's. Like we're applying to things monthly, weekly, and we're getting a lot of no's. Not necessarily for this project.
Not for
this project is resonating with people.
Yeah.
But I think that especially as someone who's, we're independent producers and we're having to drive a lot of our stuff. We don't have a lot of commercial backing. We don't have, and so we're working other jobs as well.
We have other jobs.
We have other jobs. And so when you get something like this, it's like, it's silly really, but you do go, oh, okay, great, okay.
We're on the right path. We're doing the right
path.
This is the right story.
It gives you that like ammunition to sort of just keep on going, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, another person likes it. Okay, let's just keep on gunning, And also because it's really nice that that Charlotte's story is resonating with YDA, and that. Because the YDA jury are from all over the world as well.
Exactly.
So it's a very specific. There are parts of it that are very specific to the UK because of the NHS and because of the NHS system.
Mm-hmm.
But and so that it will have a sense of place within the UK. But I think that it's it's universal, family, and trying to fit in and trying to work it out.
Yeah, universal theme.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk with me. I look forward to hearing more about How to Be as it goes through development. And thank you again.
Thank
you for watching.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.